Hey, hey, everybody. Here we are again. Sports Take Live with your crew. The president, Jeff, Brother Phil, and myself, Baruti Carl Alexander. Hey, we here again talking about the sports, talking about what's happening in the world of sports. We just had a special show talking about the Olympics. A lot went down with that conversation, and we're going to continue. We got a lot of things going on. Football about to start. We still got a little bit to talk about basketball and the Olympics and how close it was. But Jeff, what is the state of sports that's coming up, Mr. President?
The status of sports is at an all-time high. At an all-time high. I mean, you got the Astros, you got the Texans, you got the Rockets, and this Houston is on fire because the Astros right now is in first place by 5.5 games up on the Seattle Mariners, and they're playing some good ball right now. Seattle is now going in a different direction, and then the Texans, of course, they're much better than they were, say, even 1 year ago. So and then the Rockets going to be outstanding this year. I really believe the Rockets are going to have an outstanding team this year, even though they didn't make a whole lot of additions or anything, but they're still going to be better because they got a lot of young players and they're going to be maturing. And as they mature, they're going to get better and better as the season goes along as they age. So I love the Rockets team. I love the Astros and I love the Texans. We got it going on in Houston. Let's do it.
Yep, and let's start with the Astros. You said they're 5 games up on the Mariners, right?
5.5 games. 5.5 games up on the Mariners right now.
Because they started the year way down, losing a lot of games, but they got it back together. Now I hear that they are possibly about to move Alex Bregman, who has difficulty and pain in his arm. I'm not sure if it's his throwing arm, but they're about to move him to first base. And then, they got the new pitcher, Japanese pitcher.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. And they got the new pitcher, and they still got Valdez. Brother Phil, give us kind of an update on where the Astros are and what are their projections for getting back to the World Series.
Well, it looks good to me. They got Verlander back, too.
Okay.
So, it takes a little going back to look at what we said earlier in the year. Give them time. And they're in a weak division. That's not the best. I mean, Seattle was doing well. They fired their manager yesterday and replaced him with an ex-player. So now that shows you the progress Houston has made because they've settled down. And the manager needed time to blend in his talent and his skill and his knowledge for this organization. He's been a bench coach before that. But like I said, can't replace Dusty just like that. So now that they're gelling, Bregman just got back from that elbow injury, but he hit a home run the other night too. So his hitting has to be there. His fielding, he'll be excellent at first. He's a little short for first baseman. You like somebody at first, typically with a little size. So they may have to let that heal on his elbow, or if the worst case scenario, put him at second. So you don't have to make all those throws. Third base is a long throw. I made a bunch of errors playing third base trying to get it to first. It's just one of those things. But I can tell you, the organization feels good right now. They should be able to win the division, and we'll see what happens in the playoffs. They have to gel, and that's the only time that really is going to matter to them, because that's the kind of organization they built in the last number of years. Playoffs, World Series is it, and they got still the core players that got them there. So that window may be closing, but we'll see what they do in the front office with the farm system and how they manage the money on people they're going to keep. And if the guys they pay well play well, then you got what you got.
Tell me this, how are the new additions doing, and how is Valdez doing? What is the new pitcher that they got name? What's his name?
Can't think his name, but I know who you're talking about. But Framber's back. Framber had a little run where he wasn't doing too well. But like I said, they're playing the good teams now, the Orioles and some of the other teams, Boston. So as long as they can compete with those guys got heavy bats. We'll be fine. But the new guys, they traded for another guy too from the Mets the other day, and he even got a couple of hits last night. Yeah. So they're on the right track. I mean, it's amazing, but we had faith that they would do this. And, based on their history and the core group of guys they have, it wasn't panic time 25, 30 games, 40 games into the season, and they held our faith up in them by doing what they're doing.
I just want to mention to our audience that our crew, our Sports Take crew, we are scheduled to go to a game September the 21st, a baseball game, and we participate in our community, and we're going to be out there cheering for the Astros with our shirts on. So if you're out there at the stadium, look forward to seeing us. Speaking about that, baseball is toward the midway, almost the third quarter of the year, but football is about to start, and the teams are at at training camp preseason, toward the end of preseason, and the season starts, I believe, September 4th.
And the season starts next weekend, Carl. Actually, the season starts tonight, this weekend, but none of the top teams are in play this weekend. It actually officially starts next weekend, but some teams are playing this weekend.
You talking about college, Jeff, or pro? He's talking about pro.
You're talking about the pro. I thought you were talking about the college. Okay.
Yeah, I was talking about pro.
Okay.
Yeah, it's going to be an interesting season, but I also want to talk about the international flavor of football, that they're playing several games in other countries. I think they're playing a game in Brazil. I know they're playing a game in Spain. They played several games in Germany and in London last year. I'm sure that's going to continue. Where do you see the possibility of the NFL going, and how do you look at this year coming up as who are going to be some of the stars that you see that are going to be establishing a great season?
Jeff, for which team? For which team?
I'm just saying overall, who's going to have a great season? Now,
okay, let's start with the Texans. I'm gonna start with my Texans.
Okay.
I think C.J. Stroud's gonna have an outstanding season. If that offensive line can stay healthy, C.J. Stroud's gonna have an outstanding season. I expect him to throw for at least 4,800 yards this season. He threw for 4,100 yards last season, but I think he can get to 4,800 yards this season if the offensive line can stay healthy and keep him upright. He's got a lot of weapons this season, and with Joe Mixon, who's also a good receiver out of the backfield, and then you added Stephon Diggs. And then you got the Michi who had cancer, and now he's back and he's ready. He's got that wiggle and he's back. He's ready. John Michi. So look out for him. And then I like the rookies, the two defensive backs they got. They got the boy in the second round. They got Kamari Lassiter, outstanding selection. He's had an outstanding camp. And then they also got the boy Caleb from USC. Outstanding. He's had an outstanding camp as well. So they drafted two outstanding defensive backs, and they're going to play a lot. Castler, he's going to start. He's going to start opposite Stingley. And then the other guy, he's going to be playing a lot as well. So
are you saying he's going to play with Stingley, or he's going to replace Stingley?
Say again?
Is he going to start with Stingley, or is he going to
start with Stingley? Kamara Lassiter is going to start with Stingley, on opposite cones, on opposite sides of the field. Yeah. So I expect that. I also expect Demir Hunter. I expect him to have an outstanding season. I expect him to get about 18 sacks this year. Yes, Demir Hunter. I expect him to get 18 sacks this season. And I was really looking forward to seeing the other guy, but he got suspended. Who's the guy that got suspended? We picked up as a free agent. He got suspended for the drugs. 6-game suspension. You know who I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Tried to play for the Tennessee Titans last season. I just can't think of his name.
Yeah,
but anyway.
He apologized and all that stuff, but I know you're talking about.
He had 11.5 sacks last season, so I was really expecting him to really come in. But now he's going to miss the first 6 games, so you're only looking at the 11 games. So you got to take the best. But now, my next question now is this. I'm hearing some J.J. Watt rumors. That's a possibility of him coming back, either coming back to play with Houston or going to play with his brother at Pittsburgh. I'm hearing some J.J. Watt rumors. So now with that,
when you stay out of football a couple of years, it's not like
just 1 year, wasn't it?
I think that's just a little bit too
he's been out of football more than 1 year.
I thought he was out 1 year.
No, he's been out more than one. This will be his.
He was out 2 years. He was out 2 years.
This will be. He did 1 year in the studio.
Yeah.
Okay, I didn't realize it was even that long.
Yeah, he's been out anyway, 2 years. This is third year.
He's in great shape. He's in great shape. He's working out. So I'm just saying, if they can get J.J. Watt back,
football shape is different though. As you know,
I understand that. It's not like he's a defensive back. He could be running 80 yards down the field, man. I mean, you're right there. The quarterback is 5 yards away from you. You don't have to have all that. all that stamina for that. And you're not gonna
Okay,
play him
we'll
every
see.
down. He's not gonna play every down. I'll probably just play him on passing downs.
Okay, we'll
He
see.
he
We'll
come in and
see.
play 15. You can get 15 to 20 plays a game out of JJ Watt. Trust me, you can. You can.
Okay, the first game you said is coming up this year. This week is a regular season game. Who's playing that game? Do you know?
The last
Okay.
preseason game is tomorrow at 12. The
Last
following
preseason.
week.
Okay.
Yeah. Then they play the Indianapolis in Indianapolis.
Okay. The
The season
Texans play
open,
Indianapolis and Indianapolis.
Right.
the
Okay.
season opener call is September 8th. Season open is September 8th.
Okay. All right. Phil, what do you think about the international flavor that is starting to come into the NFL? I mean, it started last year even more so, but they are scheduling, maybe 10 games in international.
Well, a number of years ago, they started going to Mexico City and Azteca, that big stadium, and that has not changed. They still play a game there. But to be honest, I think they're going to try to get a franchise in London. If anybody, they play more games there than anywhere. Now, to Spain and the other places, they like football too. So you can't knock them. Everybody want to say how global basketball is, but I think football was global before basketball. But at the same time, there are American sports that have just found the branches and tentacles outside the country because they're so popular and they make so much money. I mean, and people see that, and everybody got their ideas on where they should play, but the NFL is about money too. The NFL say, not for long. We're not staying broke. We're gonna take it and make it wherever we can. And the players enjoy it to some degree, but that really throws them off. I mean, hearing what some of them say when they get back off those long 12, 13, 14-hour flights, and not sleeping in your bed, playing in foreign stadiums, just that feel, the food, everything. But they got a job to do, so they do it. So it's going to keep expanding, Carl. I expect it to, because like I said, I'm impressed that they're doing it this much, but they still got to get down to the bottom line of winning and losing.
Speaking about
I really believe that the NBA, Carl, I think the NBA is going to expand globally before the NFL will. The NBA is very close to expanding globally.
I believe the NFL is going to expand, maybe both of them in 2025. I think I've heard that the NBA has plans. I also believe that the NFL is going to do it. But San Antonio has been asking for a team and has the money to do it. I've heard Portland is going to get a football team. London, I did hear about London.
They've been talking in London for quite some time. Yeah. That's probably going to be the first place, if any, that does, because they have the financial support, they have the infrastructure to build stadium, and they have the same desire for our game like we have for Wimbledon. So yeah, they'll get it done when they want to.
I believe so. So yes, that is the next phase, and certainly there's enough players out there to be able to fill all these teams. So it's going to be interesting look forward. This is a question that I have. With all of this that is happening in basketball, football, across the board, is the major college sports game becoming irrelevant?
Not as long as they got NIL. No. And the revenue that they use in those sports fuel other things in the school. The schools almost can't function without that revenue. That's why they had all these mergers, all these conferences breaking up. It's just like
but isn't it the case, especially in basketball, the major athletes only stay in 1 year, if that, and then is it the same amount of audience in the stands to be able to feed these the budgets of these teams?
Yeah, Paul. Easy. That's not even a problem. That's why they keep going for the mega conferences. They're branching off, and then they'll throw the smaller colleges a bone or two to stay relevant. But it's like, hey, we big dogs up here. You got the Big Ten. They just pretty much dissolved the Pac-12.
Like Michigan and Michigan and Ohio State used to play before 102,000. Is that still going on?
Yeah.
They still do. Yeah.
You haven't noticed? Yeah. Man, look, let me tell you. Those schools will be doing that when me and you are probably trying to keep up with the Angels. They're not going nowhere.
That's not going nowhere.
That's a rivalry. That's probably one of the bigger rivalries in any aspect of sports. Hockey, baseball. I mean, you got some that just, they're all what they are. And one is going to get renewed here real soon with A&M in Texas. That's going to crank back up.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a shame that our Southwest Conference should have been some way that they could maintain. But once Arkansas left, they weren't prepared to rebuild or to remarket themselves, and they start branching and falling off. But there was some great battles and great traditions and great rivalries that were within that conference across the board. And U of H, what got in there the last 15 years of it, but
they did well too.
Went by the wayside.
But it was always about the money. It was always about the lure of getting a better facility for basketball. Even baseball facilities now at major colleges are off the chain. You know, and depending on which revenue stream it is, you know, the schools up east have hockey teams. Schools south and down this area, we don't do hockey, you know, for college. They do it up there, and they have their own NCAA tournament. I mean, it's so relevant there. You got schools on the TSU level playing against those schools because they got hockey. They that good. They're up east and up north, you know, but here we're football, we're basketball, we're baseball. I mean, look, we got Little League, a team playing for the finals from Texas. Almost every year we get there, but we have not actually won it since 1966. So that's pretty bad considering this is a good baseball state. We got tons of players, but that's the way it goes. I mean, revenue for college sports is fueled. I mean, that's why they move those championship games around. It's money, Carl. It's lots of it.
Understood. NIL has changed everything and so forth, and we've talked about it. Now, I think that this past year was the second year of the new rule changes. So this year coming up is going to be a new year, and we're going to see they've been supposedly trying to make some adjustments. And I hope they make fair adjustments so that the players can still get taken care of, but the integrity of the game can maintain. Because that's what I see that is happening. That the integrity of the game is falling lower.
Well, the transport portal gives a chance to have a lot of parity too. You can bring in a lot of good players and make your team good real fast. It hurts the high school level more than anything, if anything, because why would I want a high school freshman coming in unless he's exceptional over a college junior who's ready to play right now? That's where the change is. It's kind of unfair. But if you're an exceptional high school player, it doesn't matter anyway. But if you're marginal and you get in, but if you get an NIL, who cares? You get your education, you get a little change, somebody get hurt in front of you, you get to play. Now, the theory I use for that goes way back to Joe Montana. When Joe Montana went to Notre Dame, he was 7th-string quarterback, dude, 7. And all those guys kept getting hurt, sick, whatever, transferring. It could happen. You just have to have faith in your abilities and know what you can do. And look what he ended up doing. And then he didn't get drafted to the 3rd or 4th round in the pros. Nobody wanted him.
Third round. I think they're going to eventually revamp that transfer portal. I think they're gonna make some modifications.
They're going to revamp NIL too, but it's going to stay. It ain't going nowhere until they just realize, hey, it's not a good idea, but it just got here. Got to give it a chance, and it's working for a lot of people.
Yeah. It certainly. There's a lot of conversations about revamping it. Some of the coaches, the longtime coaches, have said they had to get out of coaching because it was not the same. The players were telling them, hey, I need this, I got to have this. And they were saying it's too crazy.
But Carl, why not? They had been telling the players that for so long.
Of course.
And they could leave and come and go when they wanted. They could redshirt who they wanted. You had to take it off of them. And some of the old schools got out, but that was best for them. I mean, some things you just have to know, as my mom liked to say, know when to hold them, know when to fold them. You got to cut your losses on something. It's not easy. But if you realize, hey, these guys are getting young and these guys are getting better, but the rules have changed. I mean, technology. Look at us right here. Who could have saw this coming? You know, it's amazing. It's something you either get. You don't have to know it all, but you better know some.
Yeah.
Yep.
I'm going to McDonald's and I'm trying to figure out, should I
open.
use the machine or can I go to the register? And everybody come in and show their phone and they gone.
Exactly.
Yeah, and the new innovations and with AI, who knows what's around the corner?
Yeah.
Who knows what's around the corner? You know, so you better stay up and out there trying to figure out something. Jeff,
Yeah.
basketball was one of the most exciting things in the Olympics, as well as it really laid the groundwork for the upcoming year. So much so, you mentioned about the Rockets. What changes have you heard possible? And around the league, have you heard of any potential trades?
All right. What I'm hearing, I'm okay. This is what I'm hearing. I'm hearing not specific trades, but I'm hearing about certain guys who will be on the move, whether it's this prior to the season or whether it's by the trade deadline. Brandon Ingram from New Orleans. I'm hearing he's going to be moved sometime between now and the trade deadline. Jeremy Grant of the Trailblazers. I'm hearing that the Lakers are kind of sniffing around him. He played for the Trailblazers. Zach LaVine for the Bulls. I'm hearing that they want to move him. I'm hearing the LA Clippers are trying to sniff around him. Kyle Kuzma from the Wizards. I'm hearing that they want to move him. I'm hearing the Miami Heat is sniffing after him.
I thought he had already got traded.
Huh?
I thought Kyle Kuzma had already gotten traded.
I didn't see it. If he did, I didn't.
With the Wizards.
I think that was probably fake news or rumor.
Yeah.
Okay. Trae Young for the Hawks. I'm hearing they got to make a huge decision on him, and I'm hearing Orlando wants to trade for him. Then you got Chris Middleton from the Bucks. They would like to move away from Chris Middleton's big contract, and you have Darius Garland from the Cavs. Those are the top 7 guys that I'm hearing that's on the trade blocks. It's just a matter of what team is willing to give up the required assets to make the deal happen. So those are the guys.
Can you review a little bit of who have already got traded? I know Josh Giddey got traded. Who else got traded already?
Other than Josh Giddey, remember Josh Giddey got traded for the guy. What's the guy? What's the guy
Alex
from the Bulls?
Caruso.
Who? The guy
Alex
from the Bulls.
Caruso.
Yeah. That's gonna be an interesting trade. That's gonna be because I think he's gonna help.
Well, you also have some free
Russell Westbrook got traded. Russell Westbrook.
Yeah, he didn't. Well, he got traded. Then he got released.
Yeah, well, he's with Denver. He's not in LA no more. So let's just put
right. He's not with Denver.
He's not with in Denver. A new place.
Right. I'm also hearing Stephon Curry, the possibility of him being moved. You know, hey, if you're not gonna put a winner around me, hey, I only got maybe 2 or 3 years left. I'll go somewhere and play.
They'll give him half the franchise before they let him go.
Yeah.
But the boy for the Knicks, the center for the Knicks, went to the Oklahoma City Thunder, and that made them immediately championship caliber, in my opinion.
Hartenstein, yeah, I agree. Yeah, that was a good move. They also made another move.
He played for the Rockets at one time, believe it or not.
He was there when Mike D'Antoni was there, and Mike D'Antoni did not see the value of a big man.
He was here.
Yeah, he played well with Russell Westbrook. He played well with Russell Westbrook. I'm like, I don't know why they did that. He played very well with Westbrook. Westbrook got a lot of his assists throwing into a Hartenstein.
And one of the kids from France lucked up on him a contract and signed with Philly.
Yep, I saw that. That's the guy that dunked on LeBron. That's the guy that dunked on LeBron. Yeah. Made a highlight reel out of it. Yeah.
Yeah. Well.
So, yeah. But I see a lot of trades between now and the trade deadline. Whether or not they're going to happen between now and the time the season starts, or they're going to happen at the trade deadline. See, because we realize some reason why some trades are not made now is because you got some guys who are not eligible to be traded. See, if you pick up a guy in the summer, you got to wait a certain period of time. I think it's like 90 days from the time the season starts before you can trade a guy. So some guys are not eligible to be traded. That's why some teams wait until the trade deadline, because that's when some guys become eligible to be traded. You have rules. The NBA got all kinds of trade rules. So that's why a lot of these guys have been traded. But I expect them to be traded between now and the trade deadline.
Hello, Sister Laquaun. How you doing?
All right. Hey, Laquaun.
Hello, how are you guys?
Hey. I'm doing just fine.
I just want to review with you a little bit. We've been talking about, is the major college sports, will it become, or is it irrelevant given all the changes and, the 1 year, major college players are playing 1 year, and all of these big changes that are happening. The consensus was it's too much money and it's too much still going on, and the alumni are not going to allow it to become irrelevant. Do you agree with that?
Oh yeah, I mean, yeah, college ball is that's the money maker. That's where they make the money. So if they gonna make sure that money stay in house. So they gonna have to make sure they eat and everything. So they're gonna do wherever they need to do to keep that big money coming in. So hey, if we gotta change a few rules here, do some things here, take some money off some backs here, they're gonna make sure they get their money. I mean,
What kind of changes do you
college
think?
sports is big bucks.
Yes, ma'am. What kind of changes do you think they're going to make with the NIL or conference realignment? What kind of changes do you foresee?
As far as I'm probably in the long run, what I think they're gonna kind of scale back on is giving them the freedom to jump in that portal. I think they're gonna relook at that and kind of change that up. Hey, this is and put more restrictions on that because you got kids that's coming in. Oh, I'm gonna play partial season here and then just jump in the portal and just go because now you're a lot of colleges are losing some big time coaches that they have because of that type of situation. So I think they're gonna come back to that and look at the table and bring that back to the table.
We also talked about how the Astros started out so bad, but they have really recovered. And, we talked about some of the changes with the new pitchers and some of the realignment of the bases that they are on and the spots they play and different things. Were you surprised at how the Astros have done?
Oh yes, because when they first started out, I was like, "Well, I'm not." Usually, I go to the games, and I was like, it's no use to me going to the games, going to see that foolishness." And you could tell that the missing of Dusty. You could tell that hey, it was a lot of changes, a lot of things, and the adaptation of the players because that's one thing. Um, a lot of people don't see when you make a big change like that, whether you have somebody leaving for retirement or going somewhere else, that's a mental aspect of the game. And I think mentally they wasn't there because of the changes in what they were used to. So they had to get back to their mental stage of who we are, what we represent. And that changes a lot. That changes the whole game right there once you get back to the mental part of it.
I just want to say that as a sports crew here, we are going to Astros game September 21st, and our president is welcoming you, and we'll purchase a ticket for you to join us if you would like to. So I just want to put that out there.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you.
But also, I want to ask about the international expansion in football. They started out playing a couple of games overseas, but now they are incorporating 10 or 15, and London has a whole lot. What do you see as the future of that type of expansion in football?
I think they should have been done it like years ago, because I mean, like, the international football team, it has been like, so it's a lot of clubs over there. They're very good, and then a couple of them do have like some American players that didn't make the NFL or didn't go to the CFL that's actually over there playing in different countries. And so and that makes sometimes makes the playing field, hey, we ain't too far off from the NFL, but we ain't that strong, but we got some players from over here that they didn't look at, because not every great player doesn't make the NFL. Even you could be great and still not make the NFL, and you just have another opportunity to do something else.
We have basically caught up with our conversation. Crew, fellas, do y'all want to join in and comment on what Sister Laquan has been sharing?
I agree with her. She's very intelligent, very intelligent. I agree with everything she said.
Yeah,
All
she
right.
just
So we are
it
caught
was-
up, and we are
yeah.
now talking about the basketball changes. We mentioned about the possible trades that are coming up. Brother Jeff said Brandon Ingram is they're looking to move him. The Bulls are looking to move Levine. The Hawks are looking to move Trae Young. And we talked about those who have already been traded, such as Josh Giddey and the free agent signing of Isaiah Hartenstein. What do you see as possible moves that teams are going to make to increase their prospects for the coming year? Sister Laquan?
Yeah, well, some of those teams you named. I mean, Trae Young, he's been on a trading block ever since the whole season of last year. Oh, this past season. Same way with Chicago and that. But I think like some of a lot of little small pieces are gonna go as far as, hey, this is what we need, and they're trying to get in younger guys and different like that. But this is a weak NBA class draft. This is probably one of the weakest ever. So I think they're gonna kind of look at that because they're not gonna have too much trading power trying to get rid of these rookies. And go ahead.
Before I go too far, I'm sorry, but I do remember we had a conversation as well as we talked about it online. You were not able to join us our last episode where we talked about the Olympics, and yes, the United States won, but if it had not been for the super duper human effort of Steph Curry, it might have looked a whole lot different. And the girls were certainly in a major scare across the board. I believe I remember you saying that with our best, we would blow them out. So I asked you to reflect upon that and give an update.
I mean, like, to be honest, if you looked at our men's team, it just, that team wasn't jailed. It wasn't jailed. The way Kerr, I blame it on Kerr. Kerr did not play to everybody's strength. And his rotations was not on point at all. His rotation was completely off to have that set.
Are you talking about him not playing Jason Tatum?
Nah, I'm not just saying it's just his completely entire rotation was off. The way he had certain players playing, and it's like he was scared. I'm gonna be honest. It's like he was really scared to pull LeBron out the game. It's like he was scared to pull LeBron out the game when crucial turnovers came and stuff like that. His rotation was not there. He had the wrong mix of people playing at certain times, and it was just like, why do you have this group out here playing in which this group, couple players need to be in here? Jason Tatum, I have never been a fan of Jason Tatum. So I think as far as that, Jason Tatum should have got more playing time, but it's just a matter of the rotation of it. You got to be able to fit Jason Tatum into certain players. Like, Jason Tatum feeds off other people that's dominant. He feeds off other people that's dominant, and so you will have to put a Jason Tatum in there with someone that has a electrifying movement like Braun. You would have to put him in there with like KD or Anthony Edwards. That's because he feeds off those type. You can't put him in there with a Halliburton. I mean, no, Halliburton is good, but he just didn't fit the system. Jaylen Brown should have been there.
I agree with that, but nothing about the international teams just playing at a high level. Really and truly, Serbia should have beat them. They were down by 17. Serbia should have beat them. they outplayed them. But
Well,
Steph Curry's heroics.
I'm not surprised with international. I played international for 8 years. International has always played at high level. People in the United States didn't realize it because they don't watch FIBA. But international has always played at high level. Those players start when they're 12 years old to play pro basketball over there. So they have already been taught the fundamentals. And fundamentals will always outweigh a run and gun team. And that's what US was. US was they wasn't even a run and gun team because they couldn't even run a fast break and fill the lanes correctly. But international teams, they know the fundamentals. Just like the Joker, he can pick a defense out because he has other players that got movement. They know how to back cut. They know how to back screen. They know how to run the baseline. They know how to pick, roll. They know how to flash. They know how to step back and flare out for the shot if they can't get the pick and roll to go inside. So those are fundamental basketball things, and international has always had that. They have always had that.
So what about the ladies? And you know, they barely won by a toe off. If the woman Gabby Williams had backed up just a toe, they'd have lost.
Well,
they would have went into overtime. They would have went into overtime. Yeah, they would have went into overtime. They wasn't gonna lose, but they would have went into overtime. It was just with them. I don't think we pull the best from the women's basketball. We didn't pull just like the Dallas Wings. You have the number one top guard over there, but she pulled herself out of the trials before the Olympics to be picked. She's the number one scorer.
You know why though, right?
Yeah. So
why? I don't know.
Her around for the last few times and giving her an impression that they were gonna put her on a team, and then she said, "Okay, I'll fix y'all. This time, you don't have to worry about it. I'll make it easy for you." And she went off on them when they played. Once in the second half alone.
And that showed how competitive the international as well as just here in WNBA can be, that they beat the U.S. Olympic team, the WNBA All-Star team.
She could have had Taurasi's spot. Tarasi had been on every Olympic team they had. I mean, I said it that she wasn't, but they didn't play her. So that was her farewell. Her farewell.
Yeah,
her farewell should have been the last time. I mean, she got 2 or 3 of them.
She got 6 gold medals.
Yeah, she got
like 6 gold medals now.
Yeah,
the girl from the Dallas Wings could have played for Nigeria also, couldn't she?
Yeah, she could have. I think that's
actually what it was. It was an issue with that because she didn't request it for approval, so she wouldn't have been able to play.
Yeah, but had she wanted to and really, because Embiid has dual citizenship. It's dual citizenship.
Yeah,
certain players you can do that if you want, but
they gave him a hard time for playing for the USA team. They really gave him a hard time.
One.
Yeah. And well, you know what? With the new Trump rules, though, once you play that when the 4 years before, that's when you have to pick because Trump rules changed it.
Yeah, well, hopefully that'll get unchanged soon too. but you saw how they booed him in France every time he touched the ball.
They did. They gave him a hard time.
But he's okay. I mean, he was okay.
Sister Laquaun, we also talked about the lady boxer, and should she have gotten that type of treatment from the sports community? Her father says she was raised a woman, and later on she fixed the face up and everything else, and she looks very attractive. Should it have been that type of controversy?
I'm gonna put it like this: that if they need to make a decision, they want to please the LGBT, whatever TQ, whatever it is, they want to please them. Then you want to please the other people that are against it. So my thing is, you need to come. Why are we changing? Why are we changing the way we do things to appease one set of group? The thing is, if you were born a woman, you do the woman. If you were born a man, I don't care if you change your sex or your identity, you need to stay on the man's side. That's just me.
That's a whole lot of people have that same
I
view.
agree with her. I agree with her.
But across the board, they do need to make a decision and stick to it in the Olympic and the sports community. They need to make a decision on that. And so this type of issue doesn't come up at such a high level of decision when they are in the Olympics. That should have been decided before they even got there. That should have been decided before that.
I mean, but let's be honest, this Olympics was just straight trash. It was so many issues, problems, and everything. I mean, like, especially with the track and field. I mean, you got Shelly Ann and Richardson sitting out there, can't get into a gate they've been going through the whole entire time. And now they can't get in. Come on now.
That's why. Go ahead.
Yeah, they basically they sabotaged one of the best races that could have ever happened. In Olympic history, they sabotaged it.
Okay, please give me a background. I wasn't familiar with this. Can you share exactly what happened?
Okay, so basically what happened is Richardson, they have the Jamaicans and Richardson and them have been going through the same gate through the whole Olympic time. So they saying at 11 p.m. that night, before the 100-meter dash race, they changed the rules and didn't let people that wasn't staying in the village, the athletes that wasn't staying in the village, know the new rules. So, and then they couldn't even ride with the people that were staying in the village no more because they changed the rules. So when they got to the gate, they would not let them in to go warm up. And
who they didn't let in?
Shelly Ann Fraser and Richardson.
That's how she got second, Cole. Yeah. She wasn't warmed up properly.
Yeah. And so they told them they had to go back around, which was what they said, a 10 to 20-minute walk or something like that. And to get to another gate. So the Jamaican Shelly Ann said, I cannot race because I have a hamstring injury and I need to warm up before I race because I will not risk my health and just go out there and run. She said, I'm not doing it. So she withdrew from the race. Richardson walked around, not even warmed up, but walked the extra 10 to 20 minutes right before to go out there and get on the starting line.
Oh, that's good. That's going to probably have some real ramifications, I believe that, and especially if you look at what happened with the gymnastics and that mistake that they made. So sounds like quite a few incidents happened. I heard of several other little things happening. Steph Curry's wife got accosted and different things happening. So across the board,
an American swimmer got a silver medal taken too for a half turn, a second of a half turn too soon. With that camera on the water, did have it, but hey, that's a silver medal that she'll never get.
They tried to take away the bronze medal from one of the American girls on the gymnastics team. They tried to take away her bronze medal.
They did. They did.
No, but
well, you know what? They made a rule.
The gymnastic girl, they got it. She had to get it back.
No, they made a rule. They gave all three of them bronze. They said it would be. They said it would be a tie. All three of them.
So that's been settled. Well, I didn't hear that.
They
still bad and good.
Giving everybody
but initially they did. She did initially give it back because
they mentioned
she initially gave it back. Okay, well that's good. She got what she was over a second or two of determining when they apply for some. Look at the move she made.
Actually, U.S. sent a video to show that they got it in within 45 seconds.
Yeah, well ahead, obviously.
Yep.
Yeah, I heard.
Well, they did their best, I guess, to settle it where it'll appease everybody.
So both of them got a bronze.
Yes.
Okay.
Where's the next Olympics at again, guys?
LA.
LA.
LA?
28.
Okay.
LA.
So
Yep.
2028, we'll see what's going to happen. We did also last week talk about, our last episode, talk about was Noah Lyles, did he cross over the line a little bit? Or was his showmanship just a part of who he is? And, that's a part of his persona and, it's a part of what everybody should accept. What is your opinion on that?
I would just say, no, he's a great athlete, but sometimes when you run your mouth too much, things tend to bite you in the behind. You talked about the NBA ain't the world champ, but the USA team came out and won. But then my thing is, if you're gonna lose right, lose with dignity. Don't disgrace another runner because they outran you. That, to me, that was poor sportsmanship, because you came out there hopping, jumping, probably doing gymnastics when you was running out there. And then the guy, he defeated you clearly, and he defeated you honestly. And for you to act like you had COVID and not give this man props the way he should have got props, that's disrespectful. I cannot respect anybody like that.
That was a part of our opinion last week also, and we had that conversation. So yes, a part of us share in that particular opinion. We are toward the end of our sports show. This is I believe our 25th episode of Sports Take Live, and it's always going to a higher level. We appreciate the most profound sports personality, Sister Laquaun. We thank you very much for joining us. And I share again, a part of our crew is we're going to start participating, going out to events with our shirts on and participating out in community events. We looking at going to TSU and Prairie View in Prairie View, Texas, September 21st, the baseball game. We're going to be at that. And we're looking at a lot of other sports events here in town. So if you get a chance, look at our site, Facebook, Sunny Side Sports Take Live with Jeff Walker, and you can see some of those particular events. Our final word, President Jeff?
Let's talk about the Rockets just briefly. You know I love the Rockets. We can't not talk about the Rockets. All right, the Rockets. Okay, what is your predicted finish as far as number wins? I'm going to give you my prediction, and you guys give me your prediction. I got to talk about the Rockets. I got the Rockets winning 48 games. I got them going 48-34. So that's 7 more wins than they had last season. I really like what they have together. I like the young court. I know they didn't go out and make a lot of changes, wholesale changes. I know all they did was drafted Reed Shepherd, and then of course they're getting back Steven Adams, who didn't play at all last season, and then you're also getting back Tyrese, who's out the last 3 quarters of last season. So think about it: you're adding Reed Shepherd, you're adding Tyrese, and you're adding Steven Adams. Those are 3. That's three key players right there. That's 3 key players. I really think that this team has a chance to really step forward. I say 48 wins, but I think they can maybe get to 50.
I say 50 wins.
Yeah, I think they can get to 50. But I really like this team. The core they have with Jalen Green, Afrin Shagun, Jabari Smith, Reed Shepherd, Cam Whitmore, Tyrese, and Mon Thompson. Those are 7 quality core players, and all those guys are 22 and under. So I really think that this team has a bright future. Now the question is going to come down to this. I know the owner, and I know how he is as far as being a winner, and I know he's tired of being in the lottery. I understand that, and he's ready to compete for a championship. I know that as well, and so I know right now they are really thinking about the possibility of swinging a 3-for-1 trade to bring in an NBA All-Star. I know that's what they're trying to do, and that's what they're thinking about doing. I would really rather they go ahead and stand back. Go ahead and keep the team you have now. Let these guys grow. Be a little bit more patient, because I think these guys, by the time the second half of the season rolls around, I think this team's going to be rolling. So I think they should keep the core players that they have right now. I really like it. And I don't know how you're going to play 8 guys. This team is 15 deep. I can list 15 players off the top of my head. I can go 3 deep, three 5-minute man units. This team is deep. I don't know how you can play 8 or 9 players. They're gonna have to play 10, 11 guys.
The only thing
That's too
I'll
many
say,
guys.
Jeff, is the GM and the coach, know the chemistry. They know who is going in the clubs, who has 5 and 6 baby mamas. I mean,
these guys can't go to clubs. They're not old enough.
Jalen Green already got a baby mama who's over.
Yeah, he got like 2 or 3 of them.
Yeah,
he got 2 or 3 of them.
I mean, I was watching Vernon Maxwell talk about his interaction with Pop, and Pop said, if you go to the club again, I got to get rid of you. And it's up to them to understand what is going to make their chemistry on their team right. So if there's an issue, that's where somebody would be getting rid of. Just like with Kevin Porter Jr., they already knew what was going on with him in such a way. That's why he had a problem. They said, okay, you gone, man.
See, what happens when a guy like that, when that happens, the team that he's currently on, they lose because now they end up losing an asset without getting a comfortable asset in return because he didn't tanked his value because of that issue. All right, but then eventually the guy get his head together, and then he ends up being a huge asset for another team, like Kevin Porter. Now he signed with the Clippers, so you got him and James Harden now with the Clippers in the backcourt. So that could be a very interesting backcourt. Say what?
Let's ask our audience. Let's see, is it an asset or a detriment to get rid of a valuable player who has some real bad growing pains? Phil, what you think?
Well, I'm no authority on how Udoka should do his rotation, but what you guys have said are reasonable expectations on wins and losses. But my only hope is that you just get in the playoffs. They haven't tasted that yet. They have to get a taste and a feel for the difference that the game's going to change dramatically. There's nobody on that team with that kind of experience right now that can really lead them, so they have to learn together. Be good. They keep the core group. Huh?
Well, they got Van Fleet and they have Dylan Brooks.
Yeah, but I mean,
Adams.
Okay, one guy, but Van Fleet is a means to an end. I'm saying the core group that they have beside him, because he's gonna have to bring some people on, carry him on his back. He was a part of a core group that won. He was not the guy. So we'll see how that works. But what I'm saying is, he was not the guy on the championship team that Toronto won. He was on the team. He did well. He started. Let's be real. Who's the guy from San Antonio that hit all the shots for them?
You say he started. How was he?
Jeff, listen well.
Okay.
Let me repeat myself. He was a guy on the team that won the championship. He wasn't the guy. What's the guy from? I can't think his name right now.
DeRozan?
No, not DeRozan. He was traded. He wasn't even on that team.
Kawhi Leonard.
Even on that team. There you go, Kawhi Leonard. That was your guy. Without him, they have no championship. They can have 2-3 more Van Fleets. Now, as I was saying before, the Rockets have a chance. Reasonable expectation is what you guys said. I'm not going to put a number of wins you need. You just need to get in the playoffs and then grow with the team. All I'm saying is that was Toronto. This is Houston. That's a whole different animal. He has no Kawhi Leonard on this team.
Understood. What's your opinion as we get ready to close out, Laquaun?
I mean, like, I really don't watch the Rockets, but that much. But I think if anybody is a disease to a team, regardless how good you are, that still affects the team overall. Because who will want to play with you? So that's just like with Draymond. I mean, he started out good, but then he became a disease to the Golden State Warriors, and it messed up everything. It messed up. That's what the chemistry is. It messed up everything. But I say, I look at it, the Rockets probably 43 wins. 43 wins.
Ooh,
okay.
43. Wow.
All right. Well, we talked about a lot. I just wanted to say out there to the audience, look for Sunny Fireside Sports Take members out in your community. Again, TSU Prairie View, baseball games, Astros, September 21st, out in the high school community games. We coming out there. Check us out, see us out there, and look forward to our next episode on Sports Take Live. right here on Facebook Live and Zoom. We'll see you next week, ladies and gentlemen.